right, House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3. Let's see what it's called here. Old Feuds and Bad Blood. All right. What did you think of this episode?
Yeah, so I mean, it opens up and we see a feud of the Brackens and the Blackwoods, which I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure if they're in Game of Thrones. I guess I didn't pay good enough attention, but it opens up and you're kind of confused. I was confused at the beginning. I don't know about you, but we see them, and then obviously one side's for Rhaenyra and one side's for Aegon, and I actually really like how they did it too, because you see from episode two at the end. I don't know if you stay and watch the trailer and like how they made the episode or anything like that, but they go and we know that there's a war coming, like sometime within this season, which I'm assuming is going to be next episode. But no, I mean it opens up and it's like a group on each Blackwoods and Brackens, and they're young, like they're young knights and
Yep.
like kids, you would say. And it opens up with them kind of feuding, like, oh, your uncle bent the knee to Rhaenyra, and then your so and so bent the knee to Aegon. And then right when they start like the altercation, they're pushing and shoving. It just pans up from the same shot that it was, and you just see like thousands of bodies on the ground. Which I was kind of upset that we didn't see it, because
Right.
there's a lot of dead people there, dude.
Yeah, that would have been cool just to see like maybe a minute or two of it.
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
a little bit of like the battle, and like maybe like the last two guys like dying or whatever, like stabbing each other
Yeah.
or something. But I mean,
Yeah, so from my understanding, that those families have had a feud for like the last 1,000 years.
mhm.
And I think it's pretty cool because it kind of mirrors Team Green and Team Black, because, especially at the end of the episode, but really between those two families, they don't know, no one even knows how the feud started.
Yeah.
It's like this family did this family did this, and it's like it goes all the way back to like, okay, well, who started it, and you don't even know. And
Yeah,
that's
because
to
it's
the
been
point where we're
years.
getting right, yeah, and we're getting that point almost with Team Green and Team Black. It's like, well, you killed Lucerys, well, you took his eye, well, and they talk about that at the end. So it's like each of them did something fucked up back and
Mhm.
forth, that it's like it gets messy and you don't really know who started it and everything like that, so someone's got to end it, sort of thing. So I think that was cool to show that at the beginning of the episode, the way that the story ended at the end of the episode. I thought that
Yeah,
was
so
really
it's definitely good storytelling, because, like you said, that feud's like the battle between those two factions or houses. It's been going on for thousands of years, and then you have that conversation between Rhaenyra and Rhaenys, and she's mentioning like, oh well, this war between Black and Green, where does it start? Does it start when Jacaerys or Lucerys stabbed what's his name's eye out?
Yeah, Aemon's.
And then Aemon's eye, or is it when Aemon's dragon killed
Yeah,
Lucerys?
Rhaegar killed Lucerys. Yeah.
So, and then it's already getting to that point, so it's like a foreshadow. So I do like how they told that.
Yeah, then we saw where Daemon ended up going. He went to Harrenhal. We saw that a little bit in the trailer last week. I thought, I don't know, dude. Like, it was kind of a weird feeling. It was like too easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, dude. The other thing is that after watching episode 2 and that trailer for episode 3, you see Damon's going to Harrenhal, and
Right.
The way he's walking in, like like he's playing Siege.
Yeah.
You think that he's about to like wipe the entire castle and he's gonna like take it over himself, or like he's gonna get captured or something like that. And there was nothing. He just walks in. There's one family taking it over. I think he knocks out one guard before he opens up the door.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes out like two
That was
people.
it. Yeah, and then he goes and he just walks in and says, "I'm taking Harrenhal." And the guy bends the knee to him.
Right, and then they have dinner, which he doesn't
exactly.
eat, which is smart. I was like, I wouldn't eat that.
No.
Yeah, so it was like a little too easy. So I don't know if something's going to happen next episode or.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really remember Harrenhal at all in Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know if they end up redoing it or what.
My understanding is, I think it's Aegon the Conqueror kind of blew that shit up with his dragon. That's why it's in ruins, but it is like the biggest castle.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the biggest castle. It's in ruins, so like,
right.
Is it worth taking? I mean, maybe
I think
it's
it can.
somewhere on.
Well,
the
he
map.
said it can hold all those soldiers that they end up getting.
That is true.
So that's why they wanted it. But yeah, I completely understand. Yes, I don't know if by the time Game of Thrones, it probably did pop up, and we just don't remember because we saw it a long time ago. But yeah, I thought that scene was just kind of weird. Like I was worried about him. I was like, that was too easy.
Yeah. So
like
what about? I mean, when you see the whole family bend the knee, I think it looks like I don't remember the guy's name, but like his daughter, I'm assuming, came in.
Yeah,
You know, she was the
she's
only
like a
one that didn't bend
magic
the knee.
user or something.
Yeah. So she's kind of like the Red Witch, in
Right.
my understanding. Like that's what I'm.
Yeah, we saw young Rhaenyra again,
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because it's like a vision, right?
So,
And,
but that's the other thing too is like Damon, you don't even see him go to bed.
right.
You know, he goes in, so maybe he drank something.
Yeah, it's not a dream; it's a vision. Apparently.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too is that like from what I read or whatever I saw, they're saying that it's like a not a curse, but it's a vision. Like he's awake, like he's not in bed.
Right. Right.
You know, when I hear when someone bashes the door and I'm like, oh, like maybe it's her, and then she's singing, I'm like, oh, maybe she's just like luring him in, like she just wants to like lay with him.
But, yeah, what did she say? You're gonna die here?
Yeah, she said you're gonna die here, and it looks like it's was it King's Landing where the tree was?
It looked like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it
was. So it's like foreshadowing where he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it looked like King's Landing to me.
Yeah, and then you see him, he looks like he's about to cry, and I don't know. I just thought that was weird because it happened before the end of the episode, so I thought they were gonna like go back to it.
Yeah. And then on the green side, you see Kristen Cole got his hand necklace. The hand. I thought that necklace kind of looked cool. And he ends up getting a haircut. He's cleaned himself up. But yeah, it's kind of funny to see Rhaenyra's side where it's like she doesn't want to go to war, and then Aegon's side who really wants to go to war. I like that.
Like
kind
it's too late now.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I want to mention before we like hop into more, when we see, remember at the end when we talked about episode 2, how did Eric know that Eric was going in? And remember it was Massaria, and
Grey
they
Worm.
didn't show it. Yeah, they didn't show her in the second episode, but they reach, it goes back and they show Rhaenyra,
which you called
conversation. Yeah,
yeah.
So
because I was wondering, I was like, why don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, so and now sense. She wants what is she? She wants a hand on her. She wants just a seat on her council, basically.
Yeah,
and it's true because she she spared her life, so
right. And I think she'd be a good weapon to have.
Oh, 100%. She's like basically their Lord of Whispers. That's what Clubfoot, whatever that guy's
Clubfoot
name
is. Yeah, yeah. They have these connections
because he only pops up like once or twice. Lair Strong.
Yeah.
And then you see that Lair Strong was his grandfather family was in Harrenhal, so that was cool too.
Yeah, and they fucking disowned him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're like, it's hard to cause fires in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that part was cool. Yeah, we see Eric and Eric get buried. I thought it was nice that they got buried together. Yeah, dude, it's
especially after. I mean, that Rhaenyra's good. Like, she obviously doesn't want war because she buried. Like, he came in to go. He infiltrated their Dragonstone, and then he tried to kill her, and then
cause treason and kill her.
Yeah,
right.
So,
yeah, and then so there's a weird part too, where they have like, it's like Rhaenyra's half brother. So what he is technically. And he has dragon blood going through his veins. And my understanding is, and I don't know any spoilers to it, but that he does keep appearing. So I think he might end up being like a dragon rider. It sounds like he's on Team Black, but he is in King's Landing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Thing is that, I mean,
did you believe him at all at first? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't because he goes in and I had no idea where they were. I didn't know they were in King's Landing because it was dark and, they're like celebrating and stuff like that.
Right.
And especially after hanging all the rat catchers, you wouldn't think that they'd be celebrating. But I mean, what do the regular people have to do but go to the bar and get drunk?
Right.
So, he goes in and, he's spewing all this information, how he's like, he's keeping it quiet to the guy he's talking to from Dorne. The other guy was from Dorne, right?
Yeah.
And he goes and he's like, shh. And then he starts exclaiming it to everyone. And then Aegon and his, buddies come walking in, and I swear, like, because it got quiet right when he said it, and I thought Aegon was gonna go and just like rip him up, and then he was gonna like kill him in the middle of the bar, but he was already drunk, and he wasn't paying any mind. But that
because
it was weird because I mean, they show Rhaenyra's half brother or half uncle, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then you also get to see on Queen Alicent, like her brother
Mhm.
shows up. Or
Oh
was it
yeah,
her
no, it
brother
is
or her
it,
nephew?
it is a half uncle because he's Aegon's brother, half
Yep.
brother,
Yeah.
and Viserys' half brother. So
Yep.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it'd be half uncle. Yeah, dude, I didn't know where they were either, and then Aegon showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, they're at King's Landing because I didn't know. I
Yeah.
was like, where are they?
Yeah, and that whole
Um,
scene was weird too because
it
like
was.
you thought that something was going to happen, especially with Aegon, you know, like not giving a shit about anything. Like he's a bad
Yeah,
king now, and but he goes in and just sees Aemon laying with
in the
his
brothel.
his first, yeah, and we saw
Yeah,
that in episode 2 too.
and he hangs on.
Yeah,
I'm like,
then
oh
we
my
see him,
god.
then we see him butt ass naked for what?
He's curled up again.
Yeah, he's curled up,
Yeah,
and
he's like,
he's
you
not, he
guys can
doesn't
have
look he
her.
doesn't look scary, you know, when he's not in his armor and shit like that.
But they're setting up like tension between the two.
Well,
That's
the
what
other
that
thing
did.
is because also before this, Lair Strong goes into Aegon and tells him like, "Hey, you know, the word around town is that you know you're gonna go ride out to meet Christian Cole, and you know Aegon and or not Aegon, Aemond and Alicent are gonna take over." So he's like, you
Mm.
know, maybe I'll ride another day, and then that's when they go out after that.
Dude, his
So
little finger. Literally like
yes,
little finger.
yeah, Littlefinger. But you go and you know, like maybe that's not even in Aemon's head. I mean, obviously Aemon wants the throne, but at this point he's just bad and wants to, you know, he wants to get on his dragon and just start war. And
Yeah, and then Rhaegar can't leave because
it's the
she's the
biggest
biggest
dragons
dragon,
defending the
so
castle.
right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
so
then
it
you
makes
go
sense, but
and then he starts humiliating Aemon. Aegon starts humiliating Aemon. So now it's like,
barks
all
at
right,
him
now
and
it makes
shit.
sense. Yeah. Now
Yeah,
like it could happen.
right. Yeah, so
So I like that.
there's tension there.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I thought the whole part too with like Christian Cole them running away from the dragon. I think was it Moonshire? Was that the dragon they're running from?
I don't know.
It was one of the Visarians, or Mooncatcher or something like that. But yeah, she sees them from up in the sky and starts
Which
chasing
is
them.
crazy.
Yeah, I
But
saw on Twitter.
I think it was when she's up in the sky, you can see the armor of the horse or their armor like shining. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's
Yeah, and they
like
spot her first, so they get like a little bit of a head start into
well,
running into
Christian
the
Cole
woods.
spots him,
Yeah,
which is crazy. You know, like because the dragon went over the sun.
yeah, it was so high up.
Mm.
Yeah, and then it's Moondancer.
Yep.
As Bela was riding Moondancer. Yeah, so they see them down there, and it looks like Moondancer notices first the dragon,
Yeah,
and
because it's roaring or calling
right.
to it.
Yeah, so then they swoop down, and I saw on Twitter everyone's like, "Damn, she's better than me. I would have burned the whole forest down," like saying all this
Yeah,
shit.
so
'Cause
that's
they
what I
like
thought was gonna
Cole.
happen because we saw that in the trailer, and I'm like, oh, like I'm like maybe at least they take out the two guys. I didn't know that the half brother and um Sir Christian Cole were in the back. You know, I thought they were up in
Yeah,
the front, and maybe two of the guys were gonna get burnt. And
right.
then you go in, and I know like you're watching, and you see like Sir Christian Cole like keeps his cool, but all the other guys are shaking, like
Yeah,
they're terrified. And I mean
yeah,
that just shows like the presence of dragons. Like people will do anything.
right. And it made sense too from their point of view, like to go and kind of stealthily, like then don't bring a dragon to be loud or anything like that. And
Yeah.
so that made sense. But yeah,
But it's cool.
that
That's the
scene
first
was
time we see
crazy.
like you know the greens or the blacks doing like patrol. Like that's how they do it.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
going
because
out
we always
to
see when
watch
they
everything
get
with these
back
guys.
from
Yeah,
patrols.
always.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else happened that was crazy besides like the ending? Um. I guess we could talk about that. Rhaenyra wants a way to figure out where she could sneak into King's Landing and talk to Alicent.
Which is
And
crazy. Why would she want to do that?
yeah, I think what it is like she needs just one more to give them one more chance in her head before
Yep.
she causes this crazy war where dragons are because her whole council wants her to go to war. Where Aegon's council, it's like
They're pushing her nonstop.
yeah, we're like Alicent's almost trying to convince Aegon not to go to war yet. So it's like they almost needed to talk, and it was
Yep.
interesting the way they did it. So yeah, she dresses up like a nun. She goes to the prayer center area, and
Chapel.
yeah, and like they used to go there when they're young girls together, best friends. So it was kind of cool seeing them there as adults, as enemies. But yeah, watching them talk, dude, that was like the best part of the episode for me.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And so what was crazy is that she goes in, and I didn't know that that guy was like with her. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't think he was like going to protect her at all. But you see him obviously he had a knife in his sleeve, and
Yeah.
then because why would she go there and not have like any
Protection.
protection or like defense, anything like that? And I thought that was cool. But the one thing that didn't make sense to me was when she sits down, she could have just grabbed her arm or like said hey or just like started a conversation. Like she pulls a knife out of her sleeve, so like of course, what's her name? Like it sways her judgment right then and there.
Right. But like too, okay, let's say Allison starts screaming, Rhaenyra stabs her, Allison dies, right? If Rhaenyra dies, it's like their whole cause is done. You'll still have
Yeah,
to deal with
definitely.
Daemon, I guess, but like you know what I mean? It's like, well, now the rightful heir is Aegon no matter what. For everyone. So like she
Yeah.
loses her whole army, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I feel like it wasn't worth the risk,
Yeah,
but the
but I mean, just
conversation
pulling
was
the
great.
knife out immediately is just crazy. I
Yeah.
just thought it was. I didn't think that was the way that she should have played it,
No.
but it worked out. So
Yeah, so they're talking about, Viserys, his last words. She explains a quote from Song of Ice and Fire, which her dad told her when she was younger, so she knew it. And yeah, that whole scene. And Allison just kind of denies it. She's like,
well, that's the
no,
whole
that could
thing
have
is
worn
that the
him.
end, like when Viserys dies, he says like we know that from their conversation with or his conversation with Allison, like he was 100% talking about Rhaenyra.
Yeah, because he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra.
Yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah,
thought Allison knew in her head that she was like she wanted to say it, but she's like it's already too late. It's
right.
it's too late. She can't just
Too much
tell
shit's happened.
Rhaenyra because then Rhaenyra 100% wins.
Yeah. And
So
she's
it's
already
crazy that
losing
Allison,
control of her kids, too.
yeah,
Especially with her dad being gone now, who we
yeah,
didn't see in
it's
this
just
episode.
crazy that she, would she's standing on the lie.
Yeah. I mean, besides the battle, if you really even count that, we really didn't even see a death in this episode. We saw one in episode 1 and 2,
Yeah,
one being the kid, and then episode 2 being the Eric's. But yeah, I thought someone was going to die this episode. Didn't happen. The
but
teaser, I don't
saves
know
for
if you
next
watched.
episode, which is gonna be insane.
Yeah, did you watch that teaser, the little trailer for the next one? That
Yeah,
looks crazy. You see
yeah, it looks
Rhaegar, everything.
amazing. Yeah. So I mean,
So
they're someone's dying. They're going to battle. So I'm
yeah, I feel
excited
like it's
for
going
it.
to be a huge episode 4, and then 5 will be kind of like the cleanup of what happens. Like
Yeah.
this episode is really just teeing shit up. I felt like.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too is to end like Rhaenyra and Allison's conversation.
Hmm.
Rhaenyra's like Allison standing on the lie that Aegon's the what is it the
Rightful
Aegon the
heir.
Conqueror? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the rightful heir to the throne. And then that's when Allison, she's like, it's too late and walks away. And then you just see Rhaenyra looking into the light, looking into the candles, and she's like, all right, like this is fucking war. So
Yeah,
she
dude, I did not want the
her
episode to end.
judgment is she's decided on what she wants to do and she doesn't care anymore. So
Yeah,
um, obviously, I mean, Rhaenyra wants to keep her kids safe. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's to happen between them.
yeah, yeah. I was talking to some friends, and they're like, "Yeah, the season feels a tad bit slow so far, but dude, they're just building shit up. They're building it up, and I think next episode is gonna be huge. I cannot wait till next week. I was so upset when this episode ended, but
Yeah.
they've all been like hour 10, hour
No,
15.
this one
Like,
was super long because at
yeah,
38-minute mark, I clicked on it and I was like, damn, I still have like 32 minutes left
yeah.
or
You're barely
47 or something
halfway.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, I love it. But it's also the last 12 minutes are ads, recap, and the
right.
making of.
Yeah, and then when the episode starts, it's a commercial or a
Mhm.
trailer for something.
Yeah,
Then it's the recap. Then it's the song.
yeah.
The song
But
changed
I
a little
still
bit
love,
too.
yeah, I love that it's, over an hour. I'll
Yeah,
take that all day.
it's perfect. Yeah, especially for
Yeah.
only getting 8 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, this is only the third episode and it's great. Like, I can't
Yeah,
complain about anything.
yeah, yeah. So
So,
that was our thoughts on episode 3. Subscribe, leave a like on this video. Let us know what you think will happen next. No spoilers if you read the book. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Talk about
yep.
episode 4.
See you for episode 4.
So yeah.
Peace out.